So every business has problems. Every week we solve one. Welcome to the very first episode of Solving Real Business Problems. I'm Troy, founder of Parallel 49 AI. In this series, I'm taking you behind the scenes of real client projects and show you exactly how I solve real business challenges from strategy to implementation. This isn't a polished demo, and it's not a sales pitch. You're going to see the wins, the mistakes, the changes, and the thinking behind every decision I make. My goal isn't to show you the latest AI tools. My goal is to show you how the right systems can help service businesses save time, improve the customer experience, and grow. Today's project is for a client who wants to invite guests onto their podcast. Instead of manually calling every potential guest, we're going to build an outbound calling system that can have natural conversations, answer common questions, help book qualified guests. I'm starting with a blank screen, and you're going to see the entire process, from planning and building to testing and refining. So if you're a business owner looking for a practical way to solve real problems in your business, you're in the right place. Let's build something. So before I build anything, I always start with one question. What problem are we actually trying to solve? In this case, the goal isn't to build an AI caller. The goal is to help my client book more qualified podcast guests without spending hours with manual outreach. Once we're clear on the problem, we can start designing the right solution. So let's jump into it. Okay, so we're at the main screen here of the platform to build the agent. So we're going to go to Outbound Projects. We're going to add a project here, create new project. Okay, for this one, we're going to build a standard scheduler. So we'll select that. So we're going to call this Contractor Staffing Source Podcast Guest. So that will be the name of the scheduler. Okay, so now we're in the main area. This is how we're going to build the base of the agent here. So instead of filling out all these boxes, we can just go down here to it's called the Copilot. So this helps you build the agent.
Hey Troy, this is Ava. I'll help you set up your standard scheduler. To kick things off, tell me a bit about what your business does.
Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to create an outbound agent that is going to contact people that have recently opened a newsletter, and what we want to do is we want to invite them onto the podcast as a guest.
Got it. That sounds like a fun use case. Who do you mainly send that newsletter to? What kind of people or businesses are on your list?
This is construction companies.
Nice. So you're targeting construction companies from your newsletter.
Yeah.
What's the name of your business or the podcast you're inviting them onto?
So the name of the business is Contractor Staffing Source, and the name of the podcast is the Business Success Tips Podcast.
Got it. Contractor Staffing Source and the Business Success Tips Podcast. And when the agent calls, who should it say it's calling on behalf of? What's the representative's name?
So the host of the podcast is Paul.
All right, so the agent's calling on behalf of Paul, the podcast host. Perfect. I've got the business context. Do you want me to walk you through each setting one by one? Or should I just work some magic and draft everything for you to tweak later?
Yeah, just work your magic, please.
Love it. Give me 1 second, I'll draft everything for you. Perfect, everything's saved. Just enter the meeting details and your agent is good to go.
So boom, just like that, the agent is created. So what I usually do is I just accept everything, and then we can just quickly go through it. And I know I want the initial greeting to be different, so all you have to do is click on the Copilot again.
Hey there, what do you want to tweak or update about your agent today?
So for the initial greeting, I want it to say something like, "Hi, first name, this is Sarah calling on behalf of the Business Success Tips podcast. You recently opened an email we sent inviting you to be a guest on the podcast. I know I'm catching you out of the blue, but this will only take 30 seconds.
Ooh, love that. Super friendly and clear. Anything else you want to update while we're at it?
Yeah, and we're not trying to trick anybody here, so I want to make sure we let people know that it's a virtual assistant.
Totally get it. You want it to be upfront that it's a virtual assistant calling. Anything else you want to change, or is that it for now?
That's it for now.
Awesome. I am working my magic. Give me some time. That's all set. Change is coming your way. Thanks.
So boom, as you can see here, the initial greeting, we've changed it to what I just asked for. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to test and see what this sounds like.
Hi, Troy. This is Marissa, a virtual assistant calling on behalf of the Business Success Tips podcast. You recently opened an email we sent inviting you to be a guest on the podcast. I know I'm catching you out of the blue, but this will only take 30 seconds.
Yes, sorry. So I never opened an email or anything. So what exactly is this?
Yeah, no worries at all. Hi, Troy. I'm Marissa, a virtual assistant calling from Contractor Staffing Source on behalf of Paul, the host of the Business Success Tips podcast. Is now an okay time for a quick chat about being a guest on the show?
So I don't really like how it had the initial greeting, and then I said, no, I didn't open the email, and then it all of a sudden kind of went to another initial greeting. So what I'll do here is I just didn't like how it kind of sounded like two greetings. I don't think that sounds very good.
Hey there. What do you want to tweak or update about your agent today?
So I like the initial greeting on it, but after I responded saying I haven't received an email, so I don't really know what this is about, it went to another greeting kind of, and I don't really like that transition. I'd rather it just go into, saying what the podcast is about and things like that.
Ooh, great catch. So you want the agent to skip any extra greeting if someone says they didn't get the email and just jump right into explaining what the podcast's about instead? Got it. Anything else you want to update while we're at it?
No, that's it.
Awesome. I am working my magic. Give me some time. That's all set. Change is coming your way. Thanks for the feedback.
Okay, so let's see. I just accepted those. Let's test it again.
Hi, Troy. This is Marissa, a virtual assistant calling on behalf of the Business Success Tips podcast. You recently opened an email we sent inviting you to be a guest on the podcast. I know I'm catching you out of the blue, but this will only take 30 seconds.
Sorry, I haven't checked my email for a few days, so I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
All right, no worries. Hi, Troy. I'm Marissa, a virtual assistant calling from Contractor Staffing Source on behalf of Paul, the host of the Business Success Tips podcast. I'm calling to share what the podcast is about and see if you'd be interested in being a guest on the show.
So again, it didn't really change what I wanted it to. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do this myself here, and I can just take out that initial part. So what this does now is that she'll do the initial greeting, and then if somebody says, sorry, I don't know really what you're talking about, it'll automatically just go and say, I'm calling to share what the podcast is about and see if you'd be interested in being a guest on the show. So I think that will be a better transition. Also, I want to put in here too something about the newsletter. So what this is anybody that opened like a weekly newsletter, that's who we are inviting on the podcast, and it doesn't really say that. So I think if we have that in the initial greeting, it might trigger something and people might remember the newsletter. So you recently opened maybe I'll put opened our monthly newsletter we sent. So hi, client's first name. This is a virtual assistant calling on behalf of the Business Success Tip Pod. You recently opened our monthly newsletter. Therefore, we sent you an email inviting you to be a guest on the podcast. I know this might be out of the blue, but this will only take 30 seconds. Okay, let's try that. So here, as I'm showing you, I'm going through the whole process. I just don't want to show you the end result. I want to show you exactly how I get to the final result here. So let's test this now.
Hi, Troy. This is Marissa, a virtual assistant calling on behalf of the Business Success Tips podcast. You recently opened our monthly newsletter. Therefore, we sent you an email inviting you to be a guest on the podcast. I know this might be out of the blue, but this will only take 30 seconds.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't checked my email for a while, and maybe that newsletter is going to my junk mail. But can you, I don't really know what this is about.
Yeah, no worries at all. I'm calling to share what the podcast is about and see if you'd be interested in being a guest on the show. Does that sound like something you'd be open to hearing a bit more about?
Yeah, I never really thought about being a guest on a podcast before. So, will this benefit my business in any way, or?
Yeah, totally fair question. Being on the podcast gives you a chance to showcase your construction expertise, get your company in front of a wider business audience, and talk through practical success tips you're using that can attract future clients or partners. It's just a short virtual chat, about 30 minutes with Paul from Contractor Staffing Source, and there's a 15-minute buffer, so it's not rushed. Would you be open to booking a time to talk with him so you two can explore if it's a good fit?
Is this a sales thing, or anything like that, or what's the catch here?
Yeah, good question, and no, there's no catch. It's not a high-pressure sales call or anything like that. It's a 30-minute virtual conversation where Paul interviews you about your business, your experience in construction, and the strategies that have worked for you, with a 15-minute buffer on the calendar just in case you both run a little long. Would you be open to setting up that short call so you and Paul can talk it through and you can see if it feels right for you?
Can I, is the podcast on YouTube, or where can I find it to just look at an episode?
Yeah, totally. That makes sense. The show's called Business Success Tips, and episodes are shared online so owners like you can talk through what's working in your construction business. If you'd like, we can set up a quick 30-minute virtual chat with Paul so he can walk you through how it all works and answer questions before you commit to anything.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, nice. Since it's a virtual meeting, what day and time work best for you for a 30-minute chat with Paul? Or would you rather do a quick 15-minute one?
Yeah, I think just 15 minutes. I just want to make sure it's the right fit, so I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it.
Got it, a quick 15 minutes. Since it'll be a virtual meeting, what day and time works best for you?
What do you got tomorrow?
All right, tomorrow would be Monday, July 27th. What time tomorrow works best for you for that 15-minute virtual meeting?
You got something at 1 Pacific?
Let me check that for you. One moment, please. All right, perfect. I've scheduled your 15-minute virtual appointment for tomorrow, Monday, July 27th at 1:00 p.m. PST. You'll get an email confirmation shortly with all the details. Is there anything you'd like me to note for Paul before the meeting, like specific topics or questions you have?
So I did really like that conversation. I think that went pretty well. So now we can put it live into the campaign and you can call 1,000 people in a day and reach out to all those people instead of a human doing it, which could take days and days and days to reach all these guests. And what we want to do is we want to contact them as soon as we can after they open that newsletter, because it's fresh in their mind, and at that point we have a better chance of getting them onto the show. So, and that's a wrap for today's build there, guys. I hope you liked it, and you can see how quickly we built that outbound agent that can contact all these people to see if we can get them onto the podcast. And this could be for, a roofing company to contact all the leads in their CRM to see if they're still interested in a quote or getting their roof inspected. It could work for HVAC companies that have all these clients in their CRM. For instance, if where I'm up in Canada here, so we have 2 seasons. So what you could do is send out a campaign in the spring before it gets hot, and you could start booking jobs for people to get their air conditioners serviced before it gets really hot. And then you can also do the same thing for fall. So once fall comes around, you could send out a campaign to all your leads or customers in your CRM, reminding them that it's a good time to get their furnaces serviced and checked out before it gets cold in the winter time. So there's just so many different things you guys can do with this. It's called a DBR, database reactivation. This would be really good for a roofing company. If a big storm comes through, we could have a campaign set up and ready to go. So if a storm does roll through, send that campaign out right away, saying something like, hey, this is so-and-so from Troy's roofing company. A big storm rolled through last night. We're just checking to make sure you guys don't have any damage, and if you think you do, book a call with us and we can come out and have a look at it for you and make sure your roof is still in good work. Yeah, there's just so many ideas you guys can do for really any service-based business. So if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe button. This is the first one. I'm going to be doing one once a week just on different scenarios. It'll be different clients I have and their ideas of what they want to do to reach out to their clients in their database. So please hit subscribe and you'll see these different episodes come out weekly. So if there's a business challenge that you guys might have in your business and you want to see me create something, an agent to solve that problem, please leave it in the comments and I'd be happy to do that on a future episode. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode there. Real business problems. Until next time, keep building better businesses.